Making a video again. Sorry. No. Sorry, I got so much to do. Anyway. Anekantavad. Okay. So he did this video on seasonal affective disorder. Anyway, it all is just so disingenuous. I don't think he knows shit about depression. That's just my impression of his critique of depression. But anyway, so there's this little bit on antinatalism in here, like, if he's doing this pretending thing. But I guess the point I really want to get to is later on, towards the end, he started doing the survivors of the Holocaust thing and, silver linings and all that kind of stuff. And, he just really doesn't get the subject. The subject's not like, what do you do if you're stuck with a lemon, and you do the lemonade thing. I don't think most antinatalists would say, oh yeah, be miserable and just wallow in misery and sadness and despair. No one's advocating for that. The argument is not about what you do with the lemons you've been given. The question is, should you sell lemons? Should you make lemons? Should you impose lemon? Should you make Franken lemon? That's the argument. Should you go make a Franken lemon and force it to make lemonade? That's the point here. It's not what you do with the crap you've been given. It's how much crap you dump on anybody else or something else. How much burden you're dumping on something else. What you do with your burden. Who's advocating that you just go around moaning about it? Oh, there's a burden on me. Moan, moan, moan. Yeah, you try to work through it and find some strategy to make it whistle while you work. Who's arguing that you shouldn't whistle while you work? No one. So this is, it's just such a perversion of this philosophical subject, and he claims to be a amateur philosopher of some sort. And it's such a perversion and a distortion that it can't be accidental. Oh, I accidentally confused suicide cult with non-imposition cult. Yeah, sorry, I don't think so. So let's play some of this crap and such. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to say about this, this is kind of funny. Like 2 days ago or whatever it was, he just made a video where he's wallowing in his hedonism. Eating a piece of cheese. And 2 days later he's talking about his seasonal affective disorder. I mean, you're just like, come on, I'm supposed to take this seriously? Right? How does this make any sense? Oh, that's right, it doesn't. Why don't you call it something else? A seasonal manic disorder? Something else. Well, that's not very loud.
The attraction here.
There we go.
Who has decided that life isn't worth living, or who has had it decided for them that life isn't worth living. This intense clarity that comes over you when you suffer from seasonal affective disorder or depression. It's overwhelming.
Right. It was so overwhelming, like I said, that it was munching on cheese with this, his silly grin. Yeah. And it lasted the whole 2 days. Oh, gee, what a burden. Like I said, I don't want to, mock it, but I mean, this does look like mock depression. This looks like I'm pretending to be depressed because it makes me interesting. But that's what it's looking like.
You're sure that anybody who feels anything positive is insane and dangerous.
Are you admitting that? Are you admitting that when you're depressed and you really look at things and you have that clarity, that that's what your conclusion is? Because I don't think it is. I think that's a crock of shit. Because frankly, that clarity doesn't go away when you get undepressed. I've never had that experience where all of a sudden, okay, I'm feeling better, and I just say, oh, I was just silly when I was depressed. No, I say something like, ooh, that was humbling. And I go through the rest of my, I go through the next few days sometimes quite grateful to be spared that agony. And quite aware, though, that Yeah, I'm just rolling back into the game. But at least this is a survivable way to exist rather than that way that is just so difficult and so painful and so dysfunctional. So yeah, I'm functional again, but I'm not. I haven't changed my opinion. So I guess that's a distinction. Because I can't really imagine how you go through life changing your opinion based on your mood. I mean, I'm aware when I'm in a good mood, and I'm having fun. It does occur to me. I mean, it even happens just because I say to myself, oh, this is unusual, and so it doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. It just means that I know this is an aberration, and it's made out of mush. You know, I just happen to have a very large boner today, or something. And so yeah, you just feel good, but that feeling doesn't mean anything.
That's depression for you.
Well, says you, and I don't think it's a very representative description of depression. Then, not in the form you have it, where people come out of the depression and they look back at the depression and say, "Oh yes, I was all wrong about that. I was all wrong about that clarity thing." I don't think they do that.
Now, what happens when you embrace that, when you've been fighting against that all your life? As I say, it's reckless to do that, but I did it.
Whatever. He fought against it all his life. He's a hero. It's like next to Rocky.
You get an expanded view of reality, is what you get.
Whatever that means too, right? Oh, I got a superior view of reality, and I got a fantastic view of reality, and I got a great view of reality, and I got a better view of reality, and I got the best view of whatever that means, right? Prove it. Yeah, prove yours is, you gained any of these things. I don't think you have. I don't think you've been the least bit humbled, and I don't think you've sincerely ever really known what it is to see life's ugly, skanky balls dangling above your face.
You sort of think, okay, life isn't worth living.
Well, that's really not what you think, but whatever, let's go on.
Better to just get out of here as quickly as possible because...
Lucky if you get out of here soon, yes, but then later. But then you just start thinking about all the things that aren't going to get done if you're not here. All the little cats that ain't going to get fed, and the people who are dependent on you for silly little stupid things, and now they're going to have to find new silly stupid things to be dependent on.
This is nothing but a vale of tears, this existence, etc.
Well, yeah, it's just stupid. It's a waste of suffering. The whole thing has just been a stupid entanglement of make a knot, untie a knot. Yeah, dumb.
It's a horrible existence, this reality thing.
Now, I think he is going to get to the antinatalism thing. Hopefully I didn't pass it, but yeah, I think it's coming up.
Well, there's an awful lot positive in there.
Whatever, so there you go. There's an awful lot of positive in recognizing futility, stupidity, embarrassing ludicrousity. Yeah, there's a lot of good in that.
It's strange. Suddenly you don't worry about future anymore. The future's gone.
Does that happen? And so, does anybody else have that thing happen to them when they're depressed? They all of a sudden don't worry about the future? Or do you do exactly the opposite and become completely obsessed about, oh my God, what fucking horror awaits me?
All personal responsibility is gone.
Personal responsibility is gone. See, I think I'm too late into this thing, so I'll have to go back. But let's finish this. All personal responsibility is gone. So he's implying that somehow you were relieved of personal responsibility when you start thinking about the horror of the fact that it's going to keep going on and on and on. They're being born right now. They're doing exactly what you did when you were 3 years old. They're they're growing the next you right now. How does that relieve you of responsibility? How does that comfort you at all? Oh, that's right, it doesn't.
There is no tomorrow. There is no good to be done in this world, so you don't have to do anything.
Right, who would draw these conclusions? There's no good to be done in this world. Why does depression make you think there's no good to be done in the world? That doesn't make any sense. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me.
You're off the hook in the most off the hook kind of way imaginable.
I don't see how that's possible. If I contemplate being dead at the inopportune moment, then I can imagine that I'm going to be responsible for making a mess, and that people have to clean it up, and I can think of all kinds of just personal nuisances, let alone the big picture thing of, well, gee, you sure did waste all that suffering, because what did you do with it? Did you prevent any future suffering with it? No. So then you failed, not only on a personal level, but then you failed on a broader level. Oh, that's very comforting.
That's the first onrush of positive feelings when you embrace, in my experience.
Right, okay, good. That's a good qualification. In the nihilist experience, right. So for a nihilist, this is what they do. They say, oh shit, if I'm dead, I can rape women all over the place. Yeah, no responsibility at all. I can't even go to jail then. I would imagine this, I don't know, this is what solipsists do? You imagine what they're going to do when they're dead?
Thoroughly negative point of view. Sort of the initial rush, I guess, one gets when converting to something. If you've ever converted to anything or any idea, you get an initial rush, and suddenly all these new vistas open in front of you. But you didn't realize at that moment that these vistas had a downside to them. Say, for example, you become a...
I don't know. Do you people really do this? You just sit around and say, I'm going to, well, what would it be like to be a mailman? I don't know.
You join a new religion. Okay, there's the case of these Western jihadis joining ISIS. One of them is, he grew up not far from where I grew up, in Ottawa. And
I think that's probably more complicated than just one day they said, oh, gee, I feel ineffective in my life. I'll go join a cult. Oh, maybe I can join the Muslims. They're wacky.
Sort of see how that happens. They discover God, Islam, religion, at some formative period in their life. And it's just wonderful to them. And they go, this is great. And after a while, though,
I don't know if it really is any of those things, but obviously they find something in it. You know, the control, they're submissives and they like to be dominated by ayatollahs or something. I don't know. You know, they got some kind of perverty thing going on probably. There's something they're jerking off to. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
downside of it all makes itself apparent. It's bloody hard to live as a Muslim in a non-Muslim society, especially when you've embraced ideas that you didn't really think through. Let's say that, okay, now we need Sharia law in Canada, which is not ever, 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 ever going to happen, in spite of what all the right-wingers think it.
Wow. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. You can really say that, huh? I mean, especially the fact that we are essentially segregating each other kind of on purpose now. I think it's realistic to say that some province or some part of Canada could become, Mohammed land.
Throat cold. It's just not going to happen. So you get this idea that, okay, now I've embraced this idea, but the world is too stupid to see it. And you're back in the same old position that you were in before.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you take any of this stuff seriously, I don't see how you could possibly be in the same position if you now believe that there was a God that created the universe and blah 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 blah, and why would you give a crap when you're doing your afterlife thing anyway, and you're just saying, hey, look, this is the truth. You either accept it or you're going to get killed by God, or we'll kill you first. Just we'll save God the trouble and we'll kill you first. Yeah, and they seem to enjoy some of that stuff. I mean, they do seem to enjoy some violence with their salad.
But of course, I guess when one is young and impulsive, horrible thing to say, I know. I am pushing 50, so I'm talking like that. It happens to us when we get to this age.
Oh yeah, right. This comes from the guy who just train wrecked a new life into existence at 50. Well, he says he's 40 something, but whatever. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, the recklessness of youth. Right. You're an old fart, and you took on the responsibility of a kid. Yeah, bravo. And when you hit 50, the statistics really just start to get disgusting in terms of the odds of you not being here next year. They go from like 0.04% to some like 3%, 4%. It's just the percentage each year just gets bigger and bigger. So there's a 4% chance. That means if you have the dice, and I don't know how to illustrate a 4% chance. Well, if you had a dice with 25 things on it, you could argue that 1 to 25, and you're number one. There's you roll the dice. If the one comes up, yeah, you won the negative lottery. But I'm just saying it's becoming a realistic possibility that you won't be here next year.
You tend to sort of go whole hog into everything. And of course, one morning you'll wake up and...
Yeah, I think you've pigged and snorted yourself right into a whole bushel of bullshit, buddy. Yeah.
You're drinking a cup of tea around a fire with an Afghan sitting there and a couple of Syrians there and maybe a Libyan right there, and you're one of them and you're about to attack a bunch of people who are trying to stop you.
Oh, yeah, well, whatever. Who cares?
And you've gone from being a religious convert full of wonderful new ideas to a sordid existence as jihadi.
Yeah, it's whatever. Freedom fighter.
So I can see that happening when you...
Yeah, well, whatever. Like, the difference. You'll tell us who the freedom fighters are and who the terrorists are. Oh, great. Anyway, let's go back to the anti-natalist thing, I guess. It's probably back here, I guess.
Which, again, is not something I would recommend anyone. It's akin to sort of trying to meditate while taking hallucinogenic drugs or something like that. It seems reckless.
So he's talking about now role-playing while you're depressed. So using your imagination to imagine, oh, what would it be like if I was a silly religious person? Somehow this is what depressed people do, which I never found that to be at all possible when I'm depressed, because every possible scenario seems quite impossibly stupid.
I decided that I was going to become an evangelical Christian because these people are so upbeat that facing reality simply isn't worth it. That it's better to live in a state of an illusion than facing reality because reality is so horrible.
Right, and that makes sense to somebody, right? I don't even really understand it. So yeah, I will willfully be stupid. I'll willfully forget 2 + 2 = 4 on purpose. I'll do that. Right, can't do that.
All right, so maybe for the space of, I guess, an hour, I lay there on the couch, thinking about how becoming a Christian evangelical was going to improve my life. And for a while there, I was atheist in every conceivable way. Instead of just saying that the only way that you can identify a theist is...
Oh, see, you just every conceivable way, and you just know that's exactly not what you were doing, right? Because I don't think you would actually think about what the implications would be if God was actually real, okay, and that this very strict morality was actually real, and these codes of conduct were actually real, I don't think he'd be talking about like, oh, gee, that was a good thing to do.
David, I am a theist. How about when you make yourself a theist in your own eyes? How's that for a thought experiment? How's that for record?
Right, a liar. Make yourself a liar
As I
in
say,
your
I
own
don't have
eyes.
that normal haram sort of feeling that a lot of...
Yeah, whatever. Like there's such a thing as real theology anyway, right? It's just, come on, it's just a stupid label that you wear, like Gucci versus Max DeLorean or something. It's like some idiotic. It's like wearing a baseball cap with, you know, Red Sox or something on it. It's a stupid badge thing. That's all religion is. There's nobody's really religious, and you can see it. Their behavior illustrates it. You can see it.
Atheists or free thinkers have when it comes to religion. I don't see it as bad. I just, perhaps it's my own arrogance. I see it.
Yeah, whatever. I don't see it as bad if people are preposterously delusional and misrepresenting all the basic components of value and decency in the universe, and misidentifying what's right and misidentifying what's wrong. That's no problem at all. I don't mind if people are driving left and right on the highway. I don't care if their cars run backwards. I don't care if they're, you know, I mean, if, yeah, it's just totally inconsequential to have the world run by delusional lunatics. Oh, yeah, that's no problem.
I'm immune to that. But, you know, for an hour there, yeah, that's the way of things. It makes sense to do this. Create your own solipsistic reality, even though it's not real. But the side effects are so positive that it's crazy not to do this.
I don't know. I can think of better things to do with my imagination. Yeah, a lot better.
Sort of a good excuse to drink yourself blind drunk every night, I guess. Same idea. Religion is compared to booze or drugs an awful lot. So, I became an evangelical.
Well, that seemed like a whole change of subject there, right? So you became an evangelical, and you think that's the same as I got drunk while I imagined being a drunk. Okay, so why don't you just imagine being a drunk, then you could save the trouble of doing the evangelical thing if the two are comparable. So you could have just imagined yourself drunk. Great.
Christian. For about an hour. How many people are capable of doing that? Of completely and utterly forsaking your core beliefs or core position like that? Well, I did it. What did I learn? Well, I learned that my...
Yes, I did it. I mean, it's just amazing. I did it.
Position as a non-believer or an unbeliever or whatever you want to call me is fairly secure because while I was depressed, I believed all kinds of things.
Remember how much this guy ran from the title atheist, right? He will not allow himself to be called an atheist, and now he's going to tell us how, you know, this is such an amazing thing he did, where he, you know, imagined being a liar. Great.
I trust you to know, per the title of this video, that I became an anti-natalist for a few hours as well.
There we go. He became an anti-natalist. So that's when he got into that whole idiotic sequence that I already did, and where he ended it with this idea that you don't have any responsibility. Yeah, great. It's like that's how he understands anti-natalism. Like, I'm somehow against other people having babies. Why? I mean, he's just not getting it. You know, that it's not about me. You're not gonna... The other baby out there isn't fucking stepping on my toes in some way. So obviously I'm against it for some other reason than how it's going to affect me personally.
Say, okay, what's the attraction here for someone who has decided that life isn't worth living, or who has had it decided?
Okay, there you go. So it decided that life isn't worth living. implies that you're saying your life isn't worth living, or it's not worth trying to make lemonade since you're fucking here and you're a lemon. You might as well not throw the lemon in the garbage. You might as well make lemonade out of the lemon. But yeah, don't make any more fucking lemons. You know, I like lemons. I mean, you know what I mean? The metaphorical lemon, which implies a broken thing. Don't make broken stuff on purpose. Good idea. Words to live by.
For them that life isn't worth living. This intense clarity that comes over you when you suffer from seasonal affective disorder or depression. It's overwhelming.
So again, like I said, it's like it changed the subject entirely, correct? I was imagining being an anti-natalist, and now he's talking about clarity, and then he's going to talk about seasonal disorder. I mean, you know, this does lack continuity, doesn't it? I mean, it's like Goldilocks went to Red Riding Hood's house, and they both decided to eat the 3 pigs. I mean, this doesn't make any sense.
You're sure that anybody who feels anything positive is insane and dangerous.
Okay, so we already did this part, but you see how he did that? He perverted anti-natalism. Somehow he just did that as a lead-in to some conversation about depression, and the fact that somehow anti-natalism is a commentary on your own existence. I'm perfectly satisfied with my, not perfectly satisfied, that's the wrong word to use. I've done the best I can, and whatever. I'm just saying, but there's no, it's not a commentary on how well I lemonaded. Anti-natalism is a commentary on don't force things to lemonade. Damn. Not complicated. Yeah. So anyway, just wanted to make that distinction. So anyway, now he's made another video. It's over here, where he's doing his little snowboarding thing through whatever, Sasquatchio. And, you know, it's like, oh, I guess I'm not depressed after all. Because a couple of hours out here in the freezing cold has just invigorated me and, you know, tightened up my nutsack and made me all oochie goochie. Yeah, whatever, buddy. But yeah, so it's just such a, you know, this is so, like I said, I wish I had the cheese video. Then I could just go cheese to, oh, I'm just, you know, being kind of reflective on this depression thing. And then, oh, yeah, we're back to cheese eating again. It's just, you know, we can take this seriously. This is like high school or something. High school girls have this kind of depression. Anyway. I think that's all. You know, there's a picture of old ragged Mother Teresa, I think. Oh, I'll kiss you to death. For jeepers. Anyway. So, that's it. Yeah, that's enough. People just don't get the subject. They don't get this whole thing about philosophy where you actually have to fairly describe the thing you're arguing against. I don't know, it's like making an argument like I'm against bananas because they weigh 700 pounds and, you know, they ooze this obnoxious, you know, toxic scum. And they're made out of, like, I don't know, Martian farts. I mean, no, it's not a banana, buddy. You're talking about something else. It's a different subject. Anyway. Till next time.